Hi. Hi,
Hello.
everybody. It's us. I'm Jennifer from Little Metal Foxes.
I'm Helen, Little Metal Foxes.
Hi. So, guess who I got in town from London?
Me.
So, you're very excited.
I know.
So, we're going to be doing a Little Metal Foxes retreat this weekend.
Yeah.
And
planning.
I know. We're going to be working on all of our planning for the year.
Yeah.
And getting things kind of organized and thinking about what is coming up. And, well, hey, how are you? So we're going to be doing a little bit of planning and ideas, and if there are some classes that you would like to see later this year, let us know, because we're going to be working on some great ideas. I have to have my Little Metal Foxes turn on.
Mine's back in London.
I know, I have all my flair
Here,
on here.
I can
There you
hold
go.
the mug.
Do that, yes. So, yeah, I've got all my flair from places like Metalsmith Society. So, shout out to Metalsmith Society.
Hello.
And the Smithsonian.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there we go. And Peppy Tools. That's their little...
Yay,
I love this.
Tools.
It's like a little rolling mill that says,
yeah.
let the good times roll.
Yes. Yeah,
It's
that is
so
awesome.
clever that way. So, yes. And let us show you. We didn't get to do Tool Talk Tuesday. So, we want to do Tool Talk Thursday.
Yes.
Tool Talk Tuesday on Thursday. So, we want to talk to you guys about some patinas and options that we've been using on our stuff.
Yeah.
Helen was working on a piece that she just finished,
Yeah.
and we started talking about patinas. So, hello. So here's the piece that Helen just was working on. There it is. And it's got this beautiful patina. So how'd you do that, Helen?
So I used some stuff called Midas Brilliance, mostly because that's all I had on hand. But originally I was going to use just liver of sulfur,
Right.
and and then I brushed back the edges to give it some nice depth and change of thing, but also because it has 22 karat gold on it.
Yes.
The gold doesn't react the same to the patina, so it's brighter.
Yeah, let's see.
And
Yeah.
so it gives you some options for texture and color and
Yeah.
all that.
So, and this is PMC.
Yes, so that
Right.
is, yes, so it is fine silver, PMC,
Right.
and then fine silver wire, and then also copper in the back.
Yeah. And you can really see that gold just,
Yeah.
and it's got a texture to it. Was that the gold? that
Yeah,
did
because
that?
it's actually also PMC.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like a paste.
Oh.
And so I could just dab it on there. So it's got it's got
So
a nice
it really
texture as
adds, it adds that. So you could fire that just onto silver,
well. Yes.
regular silver.
Yes.
Can you do it? Does it work on sterling?
Yes, but you have to depletion gild it first,
Okay.
or you can use a PMC slip, which is like a making it more watery of the clay.
Right.
To do as a foundation for the gold.
Right. So yeah, and that comes as like a paint on, right?
Yes.
So it's like a paint on 22 karat
Yep.
that pops on the surface, and then you fire it in the kiln.
Yeah.
For how long?
Only like 10 minutes. So you have to do the kiln I think it was like 1590.
Yeah. Is that Aura Gold?
Yes, it is the Aura 22 Gold.
Okay.
That's the quote brand name or branding name, whatever it is.
There you go, Tony lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Aura Gold.
Yep.
Yeah. But I think you probably could use the paste PMC. I mean, it's probably like a thin down
Yeah.
version of that, right? But yeah, I mean, it's really beautiful because it's obviously different than like kombu because of the texture. So yeah, because it's definitely got a textural quality to it that you wouldn't be able to do with the.
Yeah. Let me see if I can. Let me pull up a picture of when I first did it,
Yeah.
so you
'Cause
can
that's
see
really
it the
cool.
unfired.
Right.
Unfired.
And so, because you fired it, what? You did put that on there twice?
Yeah, I did put it on there twice.
Yeah, so it has like a couple of different layers of the gold. So it sort of gives it some depth as well.
So
But,
here's what it looked like
oh yeah, there we go.
before I fired it.
Right,
So it's the gold is actually the brown.
right. And then once you fire it, it sort of
Yep.
just
It just turns
sits right onto
yeah.
the surface.
Yeah.
And then that patina doesn't patina the gold, but it pops the gold in color and then darkens the silver, so you get a really nice, lovely sort of patina that gives it some depth and some texture as well. Cool.
Yeah.
Tacoma Metal Arts.
What?
Hi, Amy. Oh my gosh.
Yay.
Look who's here from London. So, yeah, but it started us talking about some patinas as well. But the 22, the Aura 22 it comes in a very small.
Yeah, just this little tiny little pot.
Right.
Like a lip gel pot type thing.
Okay.
So it's really small.
Okay.
But you don't need a lot. And it comes with, because I had actually had that for quite a while too, so it had all dried out. But it comes with a rehydrating solution, so you just put a little drop in there and stir it up, and there you go.
Cool.
So yeah, you don't have to worry about it going to waste.
Right.
Because it's
because it's still there.
Rehydratable.
It's rehydratable.
Because of the clay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's the same with PMC. PMC is the same way. Regular silver.
Well, that's cool.
Clay.
So you were using which patina on that?
It was called Midas Brilliance. It's from Rio.
Right.
And it's actually, again, mine was old, but if it had been fresh, it's touted or described as going through a range of colors from like gold to blue.
I can see some of that blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, in it.
And so depending on how long you leave it in there,
right,
it'll change colors.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've got a couple of pieces that I've got. What? That's one of my roaches there, and that is done with this is actually shibuichi that is on the surface here. Shibuichi is a silver alloy that is higher in copper, and so it's copper and silver. It's 25% silver and 75% copper. So it's got kind of a nice gray, a warm gray to it, but it's been textured and stuff. But the patina on that I use is like, it's a sulfur that I'm using on this, liver, but not liver of sulfur. I usually end up using dormant spray. And dormant spray is great because you can
fantastic.
You can get it
at the hardware store or the gardening
center. And mine is probably 15 years old. But
I'm so getting some when I get back to London.
Yeah, that is Polysil Dormant Spray from Lily Miller. And this has a, I believe it is, the active ingredient is calcium polysulfide. And yeah, it's like a lime sulfur fungicide. Yeah. So if you can find a lime sulfur fungicide at like, I got that from one of the local gardening centers outside of the city. They don't sell it in the city limits, and I don't know if it's available in California, but you know, it's something that you usually can find to prevent fungus on your plants during the dormant season. So that's what it's for. There's also a flea and tick dip for dogs and cats that actually has the same ingredient in it.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like a sulfur dip that is for like fleas and ticks, but it is amazing for patinas. So yeah, and I've got one of my other pieces here.
I know, these things are so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Oh. So yeah, that's her. Love her. Also, this is sterling around the edges, and then the shibuichi on the bottom. But on this one, something happened unexpectedly when I did this particular piece, because the sterling reacted in a way that I didn't expect it. So underneath this, behind the pearls and stuff on it, it's red and purple and yellow and blue, and it just went crazy. So I had used the dormant spray. I usually use it hot, and will use like hot water with a drop of that in there, so I don't use very much, like liver of sulfur. And I pulled this thing out.
Yeah, you can see even on the shibuichi part.
Yeah, but behind the pearls and stuff, it just went electric colors.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see some of the.
Just a little bit.
I'll see if I can catch it. But so behind the pearls, it's just got this like red and like the blue that's in the face, and it went crazy. So,
that's awesome.
But I couldn't repeat it if I wanted to, because I had dropped it into my rinse water by my
Oh, because
that's
with the pickle
over by my pickle.
water, yeah.
Yeah. So, oh hi Kathleen. Look who's here.
Hi.
So, but yeah, I dropped it into my rinse water that had pickle and soap and a bunch of other stuff in it, and that's what caused that to happen.
Yeah.
So there is the chemistry.
There's no way you can ever repeat.
Yeah, there's no way. So anyway, but yeah, some of those
happy accident.
Exactly that. Exactly that. But you said we were talking about sealing that too, and you had used Renaissance wax to seal that patina.
Yep.
And Renaissance wax is really good for kind of sealing frames, like art frames, picture frames, because it is a non-yellowing microcrystalline wax. It's like white, and clear when you put it on stuff. But it melts at body temperature, and it smells like shoe polish.
Yeah.
But it does a really great job of, like, you put it on almost by hand onto metal, and then let it dry, and gently buff it off.
Yeah. I use a microfiber cloth.
Oh, that's smart.
I applied it with a Q-tip, and then just buffed it a little bit with a microfiber cloth.
Yeah. Do you let it dry for a minute?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's usually what I'll do. But I usually rub it on by hand because it just melts at body temperature, and I can get it into all the little
I didn't think about that.
textural parts.
I should do it by hand next time.
But you know, either way, you have to be a little bit careful because it will, on some patinas, it will lift off the patina or change the color a little bit.
Yeah.
And what happens, especially with the liver of sulfur on silver, is that the liver of sulfur is oxidizing those surface crystals, right? And so what you're seeing when you get all those iridescent colors, not just the black, but when you like stop at the iridescence, or even a heat patina that is on copper and stuff like that, where you get like a wide variety of color.
The rainbow of colors.
The problem is that it's the light hitting those crystals that creates that that iridescence.
Right.
So when you put a wax or a sealant on it,
changing that
it shortens the spectrum.
Yeah.
So a lot of times it'll shorten the amount of color that you can see, and it'll deaden it a little bit.
Yeah.
So when you're working with black or dark browns and things,
matter.
it doesn't affect it too terribly much. But on like copper, where you've got that like electric color that you really love, using something like Renaissance wax or any kind of sealant will shorten the color spectrum, so it dulls it down a little bit. And I found if I get a little too aggressive, like buffing, it'll take it off. Because fingerprints are about an 800 grit. So but yeah, so you have to be a little careful about what you're buffing it off with. Microfiber is a great idea. I'd never thought of that. That would make perfect sense.
Yeah.
Or something like chamois cloth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be cool. Yeah. But I've got a couple of other things.
Yeah, she's got a couple other different patinas.
The Jack's Black, and this is for brass, bronze, and copper. And I'm pretty sure it works on sterling too. And it just goes black instantly. I'm always really super careful about the Jack's Black because it does have, it is maybe fatal if swallowed kind of stuff in it. So I'm always a little careful about stuff that says, that. So with any of the patinas, you always want to work with, good ventilation and make sure you're not, huffing it, drinking it, or doing it around children, cats, or pets that might be like into it and think it's delicious. So with any of the chemicals, you always want to work safe. But Jack's Blacks, what's the other one I've got? Max Black.
You got the Baldwins.
Yeah, I've got the Baldwins. That's the Handy Blocks. That doesn't count. But yeah, Max Black is good too. And this is the Baldwin patina. Baldwin patina is created by our own Seattle, it's actually north of Seattle, Philip Baldwin, who does absolutely spectacular mokamegane, and his metalwork and forging is brilliant, and is the owner of Shining Wave Metals. And this you can get through Reactive Metal Studio and I think through Rio and a couple other distributors. But the Baldwin patinas are really great on things like copper, brass, bronze, shibuichi, sterling, and so on. But yeah, you always want to make sure you're using gloves, good ventilation, and safety stuff, when you're working. But anyway, yeah, patinas. One of the other things I've got in my little patina, my funky cold patina holder, is this is a secret. I'm going to tell the 4 of you that are watching right now. This is a secret that a lot of people, metalsmiths, don't tell you, and I have found it to be the best thing ever when you're doing things like stamping, or you just want to get like that actual black lacquer looking finish, like in those low-lying areas. Okay, I'll tell all 6 of you since it's a big secret. So when you're stamping or doing something where you really want to get those areas actually black and shiny and dark
and stay black,
because any of the patinas are going to kind of like change a little bit as it's working. The even the liver of sulfur, it's going to continue to sort of
change, modify, whatever.
Yeah.
Or it can be rubbed off.
Yeah, it's affected by that. But if you're doing any kind of stamping, one of the, like, Impress Stamp Company actually sells these things. These are actually like an enamel pen, and you draw it on, leave it on for like 2 minutes, and then you can wipe it off, and it leaves that black enamel deposited in the low-lying areas. And this is actually really good stuff, and you can get it from like Michael's and Joann Fabrics, in the like the stamping area of the jewelry. It's like in the jewelry section of those, but it works really well. But what most people won't tell you is OPI Onyx is fantastic for that, because it's an absolutely black enamel with nothing else in it. And I know so many metalsmiths that I've talked to, I'm like, you know what I use for that? And they're like, OPI nail polish. Yes. So, but OPI Onyx Black, or Black Onyx, is absolutely brilliant for that.
Yeah.
And it's, not expensive. So if you can't make it all the way to Joann Fabric or Michael's, nail polish black, and it's just
black nail polish.
Yeah, and it's just a shiny black. It doesn't have any, swirly things or anything like that in it that make it glittery. Or, So, but it works great for that. Anyway, that's kind of our tool tip for tonight.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys have a wonderful evening.
Yes. Sorry, I was like so entranced by Jennifer talking that.
Let's see. Do you have? I have to wipe it back really fast. Good question.
On the polish.
On the polish. On the polish, and on any of the like enamel paint pens like this. Enamel paint pens will work great too. So if you want a different color, enamel paint pens from like Office Max, will work great too. But it's just an enamel paint pen. So I found if you wipe it back really fast, it'll wipe it all off. So.
Wait, just a little bit.
This says leave 2 minutes, or one or 2 minutes, and 1 to 3 minutes, and then wipe off the excess. And that way it has a chance to kind of set, and then when you wipe the rest off, it'll stay in those low-lying areas. So give it a second, and then wipe it back. And I will usually use a Q-tip for that, just to kind of like boop, boop, boop across the surface. And if it's like stuck in areas where you don't want it, just use a little bit of acetone or nail polish remover. You can
there you go. And you could even use that with a brush and get really fine.
Absolutely.
With the control of where it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, even a fine this one has like a little magic marker tip on it. But if you're using the like an enamel or a nail enamel, you can use just get a different. You don't have to use the brush that comes with the nail polish.
Yeah.
You can use an actual fine paint brush. It's great. So there you have it.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah. So I'll I actually get like medical cotton swabs, and because they're wound really tight and on a wood stick rather than a paper, but they're wound so tight that they don't get fuzzy all over the place.
That's nice. That's a good tip right there.
Yeah. And what's the oh God, it's just got out of my head. The dime store, Japanese dime store. Daiso. Yeah, Daiso has these amazing little Q-tips, and they're like pointed and wound really tight.
You can find sometimes you can find those in the makeup section of your local drugstore, Target, whatever.
Yeah.
They'll sometimes have the pointed
those are
swabs.
really good.
Yes.
Yeah, those cotton swabs, when they're wound really tight and pointed, they're so good because you can like get into really specific little spots. So I definitely recommend those.
And those would be handy just for pretty much anything.
Yeah, makeup.
Nooks and crannies in your jewelry.
Nooks and crannies. Yeah, absolutely. Well, cool. There you go.
Yeah.
So a little patina talk tonight.
Yay.
I hope that helps with your jewelry making stuff. And if you have any, again, any classes and things that you would, you want to see those? You're so funny. Hang on. Let's see. All right.
Sorry, get in the way. She's not used to moving with another person in here.
I know. Well, my bench pen's on the opposite side of the studio, so it was right, right in the gut. There it is. So yeah, these are those little. They're like really tight little wound cotton swabs, but these are the ones that are the medical ones that I use, and these are individually wrapped. This has lasted me like, I don't know, 10 years. But these are really nice because they're like a paper wrapped swab and sanitized for my protection. But
I feel like I'm getting ready to take a COVID test.
Yes. So, but these are kind of nice because of the wooden dowel that's on these. And they're just wound a little bit tighter. And I actually use these sometimes in my flex shaft. So I'll like clip them down and put a little, stuff on there, like rouge or something if I need to, and use them for that. But yeah, little cotton swabs for applying the patina or the enamel and that kind of thing works really well. So yeah. But yeah, a little patina talk for you guys. And as always, we've got all of our tool tips are on YouTube. At Little Model Foxes on our YouTube account. So you can see everything there if you miss it on our regularly scheduled Tuesday Tool Talk. So if you miss it on Tuesdays, of course, you can see it, on any of our recordings here. But yeah, check out our YouTube channel because there's also some free content there as well. And I think we're going to do, one of the things we're talking about doing is doing some live play with fire play dates. And so the last one we did, which we're probably going to do again, was playing with torch-fired enamels.
Yeah.
And that was really fun. We were in Julia's studio.
Yeah, I was hanging out in London, and then Julia and Jennifer were playing in Julia's studio, and it was so much fun just watching.
Yeah, and we had Michelle Lear Heckle from Lear Jewelry that does the Lear Works Jewelry that does the most amazing filigree. So we're going to have Michelle teach some filigree classes. We're very excited about that. Yeah, but she was hanging out cooking dinner with the kids, and Helen was in London, and Julia and I were in the studio playing with enamels. So it'll be sort of like a play date that you can join us for. So we're going to do some of those live to YouTube coming up. Yay! Hearts to you all. So that's kind of what we've got going on. Also, let's see, we've got Rolling Mill Essentials coming up, and we were
granulation coming in April.
And filigree and
my class.
Your class? Tell us about your class.
So we're doing Memento Mori and keepsakes with UV resin, and so this sort of it will jump into other means of creating meaningful pieces that you can share with friends, family, and or just for yourself. Like I have my dad's ashes in a little bezel thing that's on my desk, hanging from a bell. So every time the bell rings, an angel gets its wings.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's thinking of you.
Yes, I think of him every time I hear the bell. You know, and it's a lovely little thing. So I want to share that some of that with you and
yeah. And you've got one that's the cat whiskers.
Yes, I have one that I made with cat whiskers. Yeah. And I have some coyote teeth that I can play with, and I can I'm going to just show you a couple different things that ideas and things that you can do.
Yeah. So what's the difference between like the UV enamels or not UV enamels, UV resins?
Yes.
And like 2-part resins.
It's the curing time. So and even with regular 2-part resins, you have different ones that'll be quicker and slower. It all depends on you have to read your box, but it's all in curing time. So with the UV resins, it's almost instantaneous. You have that little flashlight, which is why I'm grabbing my flashlight, and you can just click on it just to set it, and then you can you don't have to have the nail light thing, but you can get those on Amazon and stuff. But
so it's usually used like in the nail industry for doing like
these
nails and things,
the ones that I use actually craft UV resin. But but Jennifer's brilliant suggestion, you can use UV activated nail gel as coloring.
Yeah. So but it's really cool because you can do like layered,
extra tool tip.
You can do like layered UV resins, or you can do layered resin pieces, but using the Tina, hello. So using like doing like layers of resin, but using UV light.
Yeah.
And you don't have the curing time wait. So it's you cure it and then you add some more stuff and you cure it.
Yeah.
And you add some more stuff and you cure it.
Yeah, because with the 2-part you have to wait at least
24 hours.
12 to 24 hours or so. There's hours involved. Where with the UV, it's very instant.
Yeah.
So I will say with UV, you want to do a longer cure once you're done to make sure everything is set. But
so cool.
Yeah.
So look for that class because that's going to be really cool. And the neat thing is that you can like bezel set it. You can do it inside of boxes and all kinds of things too. And you're going to be doing
and pre-made
lockets,
tube settings.
Yeah. Pre-made containers.
Yeah.
For the Memento Mori. So I know a lot of people are curious about the Memento Mori and doing things like reliquaries and
that's so much jam.
Yeah, little memorable objects that are precious. And so that's going to be an amazing class. So if you have a chance to take that, we've already got some seats sold, and hopefully it's going to be tight. There's going to be a lot of people in there. So get that while you can, because Memento Mori objects are something I think everybody really has an interest in. There aren't a lot of people that are like meh for that, but they're kind of great, and they are great containers for things like ashes and pets that have moved on over the Rainbow Bridge, and
and anything that you want to remember and you want to keep it in in a protected state.
Yeah, so that'd be cool. So when is that?
That is it's in March. 26th.
It's in March. March 20 something. March 20 something.
26, I'm pretty sure, because I think it's the same weekend as Michelle's
filigree. Yeah.
But the second part of her filigree.
Right. So we've got filigree, and we've got Memento Mori, and we've got rolling mill, and we've got sewing essentials, and so if you want some basic classes,
26.
26. So if you want some basic classes, I know we've had some requests for doing some basic classes again. Those are coming up, but the sewing essentials is a really good one.
Oh, nice! The glass memorial caps, those are great. I also work with kiln glass, so fusing, and yes, that is really cool.
Yeah, So you're actually making the glass cabs for that. That's a great idea, and you could do that with the UV resins, right?
Yeah.
Make your own little
I know.
memory cabs. There's so much potential. I'm excited about this class. Yeah, my husband hasn't signed up for it yet, but he's
signing up.
He's actually going to be taking it because he does knife work and wants to use it for like inlaying into like knife handles and doing things like that. So he's like, when's this class? So
black nail polish, you could probably also do UV resin.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right, people. Yeah, it just keeps going. So, have a great evening, and check back if you missed the beginning of this. We were talking about patinas, so you can actually watch this on YouTube or watch it once we post it.
Yep.
If you're working with chemicals, always work safe and good ventilation.
PPE.
Yep, absolutely. And make sure you sort of take a look at the classes that are coming up. And if you have a tool tip that you want us to do, direct message us on Instagram, and we'll take a look and see if we can do that, because we like sharing tool tips with you guys.
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
Have a great week, and we will see you later on. Bye!